My name is Lady Izdahar and I'm a historian on Eastern Europe, Russia, and Eurasia, and today I want to do something a little bit different. You see, I just watched a video by Karolina. I'm not even gonna try. Insert Polish language meme. So the lovely Karolina made a video combining early 2000s alternative scene kid fashion with 1920s flapper fashion, and honestly, genius idea, and the execution, well, more scene kid than flapper, was like spot on. I am inspired. And for the most part, I'm inspired because I, alas, was an alternative kid in the early 2000s. I'm really curious to see other people make videos like this because I have a feeling many of us who ended up either dressing eccentrically in the future or became historians or masters of the past or whatever you want to call it, I feel like a lot of us might have similar background stories and might have similar ways of growing up and expressing themselves when they were younger. So I want to talk a little bit about my own past and my own old way of dressing because while Karolina expressed her want and desire to be a scene kid and to dress a certain way, I had the full experience and then some because you see, I come from a family of very alternative counterculture punk rock kind of people. My mother was a classic punk in the 80s, my stepfather was more of a stoner metalhead, my older sister was very much in the goth scene, which was great for me because I got to inherit all of her trip pants and skirts as I grew up. And my stepbrothers, one was a classic punk as well and one was also a metalhead. And so I grew up in this family dynamic of counterculture kind of styles and very much those that revolve around music. Maybe I'm a bit more sensitive than the average person because I was very much in that world as well as my family, but music is a really important aspect of these styles. You're not goth if you don't listen to goth music, you're not punk if you don't listen to punk music. And that being said, trying to figure out how I want to emulate what Karolina did, I was stuck because I myself considered what I was to be punk because I only listened to punk music. That was the kind of thing that I was wrapped up around. And punk doesn't have a distinct style because the whole concept is being straight up counterculture, to wear things that aren't normal, to add accessories that you made. And while there are battle jackets or battle vests, which I would love to create some sort of folk vest, battle vest or battle jacket, like a folk costume with just patches and all of that kind of stuff, though that would be cool. I don't necessarily have the means to do that right now. And so as much as I want to express my punk rock self, I don't think it will fit this. And you might say, well, Izdahar, I see these pictures of you. That doesn't look very punk. I think just because I was a teenager from, I suppose, 2008 to 2014 were my teenage years. I grew up just very much in the era of alternative fashion looking a certain way. And so my hair and makeup ended up very much emulating the common the common style of alternative kid, which mixed kind of everything together. Whether you were scene, punk, emo, goth, you kind of had a similar way of doing your hair and makeup. It's so interesting to think back on. I'm very lucky that I grew up the way that I did, where I could do whatever I wanted with my hair and my clothes. And growing up pretty poor, most of my clothes came from the thrift store and Navy Army surplus store anyways, which was perfect for the aesthetic, I suppose, and is something that helped me become interested in historic fashion and ways of dressing later on in life, as well as just the concept of not caring what people think and growing up in that counterculture kind of mindset from a family dynamic. It's really beneficial for us as adults to do what we want to do, not just what society tells us to do. Ironically, growing up with my immediate family culture being that, it actually didn't mesh well with the kids in school who dressed alternative. Well, I had crippling ADHD, and as a teenager, I was in my own little world, and so while I dressed and looked really alternative, if anyone talked to me, I would probably just spew BS about world history, critique them on not knowing capitals of the world, talk about gay anime porn because I was very into that, and talk about national anthems. That's the kind of stuff that would come out of my mouth. And so Oh, well, here's the real reason why I wasn't friends with a lot of alternative kids, but I looked just like them. I was straight edge. Can you imagine? I grew up in a family full of alternative counterculture people. I'm the only one without tattoos. I'm the only one who doesn't drink. I'm the only one who isn't experimenting with drugs, even though I could if I wanted to, because I grew up in that kind of environment. And then here are the kids at school doing all of those things and hiding it from their parents. And I don't fit in because I choose not to. Isn't that messed up how as a society, to fit in, you had to do drugs and stuff? And I was just like, I'm high on life and history. But hey, look at me now. Man, lots of cringy memories from local shows. I was lucky enough that my family went to a lot of rock concerts and festivals together, but at the local shows, I'm sure I was the cringiest person there because I was constantly like, oh my god, that person's drinking. They're not allowed to drink. Yes, that's why. That's why I wasn't invited to parties. Not because I wasn't interesting, but because I was a huge narc. I got so many people suspended on my bus route. You know, surprise. My counterculture to my family's counterculture was organized religion, and I found God, and that's why I look different now. Anyways, let's continue on. So what have I decided to mix? You see, my everyday style these days as a historian on Eastern Europe, as someone who explores their family ancestry in the Banat region of Serbia and Romania, as someone who ended up marrying someone from southern Russia, all of these influences that are a part of my everyday life has really molded me into a person that dresses 99% of the time like a babushka. You see, as a convert to Islam and as someone who likes to adhere to a certain level of modesty, I chose to start covering my head years ago. And in these most recent years, I found the most pleasurable way of covering my head, the way that I really connect with, a way that I would likely do even if I wasn't a Muslim, is through folk scarves, through head coverings and historic ways of headdress from the region that I am from and that my husband is from. And it just automatically turns every outfit into a babushka outfit. And that's okay. And those headscarves mixed with my, you know, avid thrifting tendencies and wearing things that are old or reproductions of old things or straight up, you know, 114-year-old dresses. Will a 114-year-old dress cure my depression? No. Will it momentarily take me out of this world that I despise and let me pretend to be a ghost? Yes. I was pretty sure I wasn't going to do a specific era because I don't study a specific era. I study a specific region and people groups, and my own style very much reflects that it's all over the place. So I thought, well, if punk isn't defined enough, you know what is? Goth. And oh boy, do I have items to be a goth. But let it be known, fellow goths, I am well aware that there are many styles. And I guess some of you might disagree that it's not all about the music, and some of you would, you know, literally bully others for thinking it has nothing to do with music. But let me just express that I have looked at the many varieties of goth that I could potentially put upon myself, and given my wardrobe, I think I will definitely be leaning more towards a Victorian goth kind of look. As much as I love trad goths, I'm not a huge fan of trad goth makeup, so I wasn't going to go that route. So the style that I'm definitely trying to emulate is going to be more Victorian or elegant sort of goth, perhaps a little on the vampire side, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And you know, I got lots of goth friends, I got a goth sister. I think I can do this. I think I can do it. Let's go! Oh, and a perfect source of inspiration, I just recently received this Babushka edition of Gentle Hearts Unite, which is a wonderful, wonderful zine that you should check out. And there's lots of great babushkas featured that I can gain inspiration from. Oh, Chiburushka, love that. Baba Yaga, although I'm more of a fan of Baba Anyuka, as she is the babushka of the Banat region, where I descend from, my ancestral, oh my god, I always almost accidentally say incestual, In fact, I do say incestual a lot in person in conversation instead of it's awkward. Anyways, Baba Anyuka, the Banat witch. Now that's some inspiration for this. So Baba Anyuka, also known as the Witch of the Banat, is really interesting, not just for the inspiration of this, as she is quite a dark person in history due to how many people she killed and poisoned. But she also really exemplifies the complexity of the border changes in that part of the world at the time of her life. So I hope to talk about her more in the future, just to explore how she can be born and die in a very similar location, yet be in two completely different countries or countries that no longer exist anymore. So yeah, really interesting woman. I'm gonna go through my wardrobe and try to find some items that I think will work for gothness. I already have an idea. I have this set that is very much in a Victorian style, though it is stylized, not actually replicated from Victorian silhouettes anyways, and it is a black skirt and blouse set that is quite frilly, and I think this will work as a base. But there's definitely other elements that I want, and it's hard, like how do I get the essence of a babushka? Like I definitely have lots of clothing with like calico and things like that that would give a more stereotypical babushka kind of feel, but not goth. Welcome to the Platok drawer. You are currently being supported by Karl Marx. Let's see. I don't know. I have lots of traditional style platok, mostly from the Soviet era, but I think that one that gives off the most gothy feel is going to be this. It's a fake Pavlovo Posad scarf because I'm cheap. But I think this is the best bet for babushka and goth. It's black, it has little dangly dangles, and it looks great. I really don't know, does this skirt look better with that shirt, or does this skirt? I don't know. Welcome to my bathroom. I put on my folk scarf that I'm going to wear, and I already styled my hair, the amount of hair that I feel comfortable showing. I know it's confusing for like non-Muslims, but different people have different standards of modesty. I'm okay showing a little bit of hair, and it helps give a vibe to an outfit. Normally I wear folk braids, but this time I thought doing just simple, I think it goes well with it. So this is the makeup that I was already wearing today, just to film things and go about my day, but I'm going to take it up a notch. So I'm currently looking at some pictures of Victorian goth kind of makeup. Right now I'm looking at this girl. I'll put up a picture as well, but dang, I'm liking what she's doing. I don't think I can do that. This is like, I've never been good at makeup. Oh man, and especially not back in the day when I dressed alternative. In my freshman yearbook photo, I had a fringe like this, right? I had a blue fringe, and so one of my eyes was always covered. And I only ever put eyeliner on one eye, and because it was picture day, I put even more eyeliner on, but then the photographer made me take my fringe out of my hair, and so if anyone has the freshman yearbook of who went to high school with me, you'll notice I only have eyeliner on one eye. I don't have a lot of variety. I don't have any black like eyeshadow. I have like this dark, these are the only eyeshadow palettes I have, and they're neutral. I have like this one, so I think I'll start, let's see, I'll start with brown, dark brown. So I finished lining the insides of my eyes. Now I'm gonna go with some liquid liner. I'll probably go with my tried and true black and brown thing for everything first. Because the thing with goths is that they're so freaking good at sharp eyeliner and eyeliner designs. And I wanna impress. This is where I'm at. How does it look? Can you tell? I got a lot of eyeliner in my eyeball. I don't think you'll be able to see what an angle. You can see some. Did I sleep well? Okay, anyways, I'm gonna clean up a little bit with this on the underside, but I don't think you'll be able to see. That's okay. All right, not bad. So next is the lips. She has very, very like black lined red lips. I don't know. What do I have in here? So I'm gonna start with this brown. This is actually a YouTuber who I used to really like. I still like. She just doesn't make as many videos. Cozy, Kitsune. I'm sorry. I was a weeb at one point in my life, but I wasn't a weeb enough to learn Japanese. You know, Cozy Fox. McKenna. She used to go by that. She has some lipstick lines. I want to support her. She's great. She's Turkish as well, and is exploring her ancestry. And I bought one of her lipsticks that's named after Istanbul, and I support her journey. That's a sign that I smell bad. So I was talking a lot apparently because I just had to delete a bunch of footage of me sword dancing and reviewing A Court of Thorns and Roses because I never delete anything on my phone, and I ran out of space. That's what I was trying to say. I ran out of space. So I put on the brown lipstick, and now I'm gonna put on the red lipstick and see how that complements each other. And hopefully I won't ramble on too long again and have to delete more things. I was hoping it'd be darker than that. Well, when in doubt, more pigment. I have this burgundy color. There's Nocturnal, and then there's Sangria. So I'm gonna add some of that. Oh, that's kind of purpley, actually. Let's go with Nocturnal. So edgy, so goth. It's not bad. Oh, I look like a scary bitch. That's what I'm going for. But do I look like a babushka? We'll see. I opened the blinds so you can see my makeup better, and also, oh fuck, it's bright. Is it good enough? Do I look? I don't look anything like that woman, but it's gothy. There's my unflattering babushka shoes. I know my feet look huge just because they are, because I'm 5'10", so this is what supports my tall ass body. A size 10 foot. Here you go. It's not cute. So next I need to pick out some jewelry. This is where I keep most of my jewelry, on top of this vintage TV, and it looks like I have an altar to like a BTR, which is an armored vehicle, not a tank. Get it right, people. Yeah, anyways, so let's pick out some of that. Okay, so for sure I want this ring. This is my favorite ring. It's quite macabre, of course, an eyeball. So I think it works with the jewelry. And then I also have this other one that's very similar. I can just put it on my other finger. What else? This one's obnoxious. I'm not entirely sure what finger it fits on. Oh, it's on the middle one. That's obnoxious. I'll take that. This is my favorite ring. It holds, well, it's meant to hold poison. You see? That's a good babushka ring. This one fits. So I don't have any little rings for like the other ones, but that's fine. These are like large and obnoxious, and it'll work. So I myself, a lover of odd things, even when, like I said, even when I dress professionally, I like to wear just interesting bits and bobs. This is my favorite necklace. It's a coyote tooth, and I think yeah, I'm gonna go for that. I might change how my scarf is tied so you can see my necklaces, because you can't really tell what's going on there. And then the only other necklace I really have, well, I have a few. I found this old one. It's not a bullet, it's something else. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it's kind of, there's little skulls on it. It's wonderful. Let me just throw that on too and like layer it up, you know. I don't wear a lot of necklaces, so I just don't have much. I think one of the most important aspects, excuse my trash can, one of the most important aspects for like babushka is like layering kinds of things. So I did end up wearing both skirts. I thought that is kind of, yeah, that works. Yes, I think this will do. I put a little brooch right here as well instead of on my collar since you see this more anyways. I think this will do. I'm a little paranoid that it's not giving off the babushka vibes, and I literally am just like relying on my folk scarves for that. But I think like the kind of silhouette and outfit is good enough. You can't see. What do you think? How did I do? Will you be recreating your own sort of mishmash of styles and eras and subcultures and genre? I don't know. I didn't really do the same format as Carolina with like an era and a style. I just did, well, let's be honest, Eastern Europe didn't have the same sort of style progression that much of the Western world had. You don't see the same sort of set of this is Edwardian, this is Victorian, this is all very specific to the Western world. In Eastern Europe, there's a larger divide between the peasants and the bourgeoisie. And for peasants, fashion changed incredibly slow even into the 1900s. And so that's why you still see babushkas dressed like this. It's just people, it's... Anyways, I would definitely love to see more people mishmash different styles. And yeah, tell me how I did. Is this babushka goth or not? I mean, do you want to dress like this? I think babushka goth is a nice style and I am here for it. Yeah, so if you like what I do here, if you're interested in seeing more from me, please subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. TikTok is where I upload the most often, but Instagram is where you can probably have a better chance at talking to me individually in my DMs. And if you are one of the lucky few in this hellhole of an earth that's dying quickly that has money, please support me on Patreon because I am struggling. Okay, thank you all. Be inspired by history, and I appreciate you.